Hello everybody, in today's video we've got a package from Traiphum again. This is a Master Skewb barrel. Now before I actually go and unbox it, I really want to apologize. My hands are quite dirty today. I've been working super hard, 10 or 12 hour days, and the substance I was actually handling with my hands today really stained them, and I scrubbed and I just could not get them super clean. That's just a result of my work. So I do apologize for that. I want to acknowledge that. I am aware of it. So anyways, let's go ahead and open this. This is going to be really awesome. So this is a transformation of a Master Skewb into a barrel. Now I actually seen this quite a while ago and honestly wasn't really too interested in it until I just looked at it more and was like, wow, that's probably really cool. So okay, so let's go ahead and open this. All right. So here we have the puzzle. Wow, a lot of shredded paper. All right, so let's get rid of this and on to the puzzle. All right. It's probably very high quality, just like every other puzzle I've gotten from him. And I can already tell this is super nice. Let's go ahead and just rip it open. And that's got some weight to it with all the epoxy sculpt. So again, this is made from a Master Skewb, and I think it's actually got some slight extensions to it, as well as truncating, obviously. And so this is the color scheme. There's yellow on one side, white on the other, and then we have red, green, purple, and blue. Now I don't know if these are interchangeable because I think that it's very close to a Rex cube from what I'm I don't know. I've looked at a Master Skewb online and it looked very close to what a Rex cube would look like. So I would really have to solve it the same way, I would think. You can do these kind of moves and switch them around, but I don't want to scramble it up yet. As you can see, this is a shape changer, and I'm sure you all know those are my favorite. Now, one of the reasons I wasn't really into getting this is because you'll notice on my channel some patterns, like, for instance, speed cubes and then cuboids and other morphing kind of puzzles and things like that. Again, I really want to apologize for my hands. I really did try to scrub these. Anyways, but I usually don't branch out too far because I don't really like having to learn new things, and I figured because this is very close to a Rex cube, but with corners, maybe it wouldn't be so hard. So anyways, yeah, this thing is great. I really like this. Very well stickered, very well handcrafted. Rolls no problem. And all right, so I'm going to try to, I guess if we had to memorize a color scheme, it would be white on the bottom, blue in front, red on the right, green, just like a regular one, and instead of orange, it's purple. Now, I've never had a Traiphum puzzle with purple on it, but it definitely looks really cool. In fact, I think his Hexaminx actually had purple on it, and then I requested the original color scheme, and then he's been selling them like that since, I think. Anyways, so I think I'm going to have to memorize it like that, but I think maybe just like a Dino Cube, which is very related to a Rex Cube, I think maybe the color scheme might be interchangeable. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm very excited for this. All right, so let's take a look at some of the pieces here. Okay, so we can see this is one side here. So this here is the center, I believe. Actually, that's right. Centers can move. So if this goes here, can this move? How does this go? All right. So yes, very interesting. I might have to take a, try to memorize this a little bit, but what moves around? So this here is a center as much as this is, because I can move this around. So that's, the centers here are centers, and I think these big ones are centers because they cut through. So I can cut through here, or I can cut through here. So I can actually interchange pieces. Let's see if I can. There we go. So it's a little bit tricky to line up the slices and stuff, but I think this is going to be great. How does this turn? It's very difficult to figure out how to turn this thing. So if we move this like this maybe, or there we go. So yeah, they can interchange. So that's exactly. All right, so sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I would solve this. But let's go ahead and scramble it up. I think this is going to be really cool. And it does not bandage, but it does shapeshift a whole lot, as you can see. Am I not lined up? No, I'm not. So alignment is not an issue, but it is important, just like any other cube. Is that aligned? No, it's not. I can't figure it out. Is that it? Okay, so now I'm trying to figure it out, how to turn this thing. Is this it? Nope. Okay, I'm doing the wrong one. This is the slice here. There we go. Well, I gotta say, this thing is a little bit difficult to scramble, just in the fact that trying to figure out when a move is started and when it's finished is quite difficult. I'm starting to get the hang of it though, but this is a little bit difficult. Alright, so that's not it there. This is it. Just trying to separate all these pieces from themselves. Is this it? Alright. Okay, what can't move now? There we go. Alright guys, so I'm going to consider this scrambled. This is a scrambled barrel cube made out of a master Skewb, and this is going to be quite the challenge to solve, I can tell you already. So I don't know how long it's going to be until this video is out, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and solve this and then come back and talk about it some more. Okay, so it's been about 5 or 6 days now, and I've solved this thing a few times, but I will say it was quite the challenge. This is probably one of the most challenging Traiphum puzzles I've ever put my hands on. And the reason for that is because I've never really solved a master Skewb before, especially not a shape mod of it. And certain things of it were just very, very confusing. Obviously, you saw the turning. I couldn't figure out where one slice started and where the other slice ended, and it was, very confusing for me that way. And because of that, the learning curve of this was quite difficult, because not really understanding where the slices go and having to, look for them and stuff, it really made me forget what I was doing or where I was in the solve. So the first solve was actually over a day. Like, I worked at it for quite a while, and I just kept making mistakes. And but like I said, it is very close to a Rex cube. Rex cube does not have corners though, and these little triangle parts here, if I can do this again, these little triangle parts like this purple here, that is a corner on this. So all of these little tiny pieces here are corners, and you have to make sure those corners are in the right spot while you're putting your edges in. Otherwise you get this kind of parity and you can't really get out of it very easily. You just kind of have to destroy what you've done and rebuild. So I didn't actually get that because I understood that at first. But it is very, very close to a Rex cube solve. It's done the exact same way. It's just that your perspective is really, really, it's hard to maintain it, because the shape mod and all these pieces go different ways, and this piece here is not equivalent to this piece. They just look the same, just mirrored. So it's kind of difficult sometimes, because you're trying to find, say, this piece here, and you can't, you're getting the wrong piece and you're putting the wrong pieces in. Also, the flipping algorithm that I use, say I'm trying to flip this one here, well, it also flips this one here. So sometimes this whole section here will be in because this cross has been done, and then all of a sudden it's flipped over, and I got to find a way to do that. And in doing that, I might flip over something else. So it is a little bit challenging that way. But the most challenging part that really screwed me up a lot of times was the corners, because the corners can rotate. And I'll give you an example. The way that I have to hold it while I'm doing the corners is like this, not like this or like this, but I have to hold it like this. And I'm switching this corner for this corner, but what it does is it rotates this corner and that corner. Does it switch them? I'm not 100% sure if it switches them and rotates them, but it definitely rotates them and leaves these the same. So I'll give you an example. If I do these moves over and over again, I think it's 3 times, so that's 1, 2, 3. You can see that nothing has really changed here, but it actually has. This corner has switched for this corner, but now you can see we've got these pieces poking out. So what'll happen is when you're done, you've got all sorts of these pieces poking out everywhere, and you got to try to figure it out. Now, if I was to just go like this and switch them, it's going to look exactly the same because it just switches these. It doesn't rotate them. So what I would do in a situation like this is I would put these on the bottom and I would do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, it fixed these pieces because it rotated them. Now, sometimes when I'm done the solve, I'll find I only have one piece rotated and not the other. So what I would have to do is try to orient them the same direction, right? So I can do that move. So they're set up. So when I do this, it'll fix it. The problem is that it's hard to distinguish because it's such a perfect triangle almost. It's hard to distinguish. So what I would have to do is turn one like this and then go ahead and do this, and it would rotate these differently. So it's quite the challenge for the corners, but the way I work with the corners is not up here. I work with them down here by rotating them, by switching these. So it is quite the challenge. Anyways, guys, so that is the Master Skewb barrel. I will leave a link to Traiphum's Facebook page where he has a price list in his photos. There's an album with a bunch of his puzzles, and you can see the price on there. So if you guys want to, find out the price or more about this, you can go ahead and click the link, like his page if you want, and I will see you on my next video.